Hi everyone, welcome to Flosstube number 74. In today's video I have 2 new starts and some work on a work in progress. Welcome to this video. If you are new here, hi, my name is Marika and this is a channel mostly about cross stitching. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I first want to say a huge thank you to Elle, the Keystone Stitcher. She will be linked in the description down below so you can go and watch her wonderful videos. I've been watching them almost, I think they're weekly, and I watch them. As soon as they come, I watch them. She's a delight. And she was super nice of her. She sent me a gift card to Unconventional Cross Stitch. She really You didn't have to, Elle, but thank you so much. Thank you. I was able to pick up one of the retiring shards from Unconventional Cross Stitch. And of course, after going through all 223 of them, I chose this, which is by Ivy Dollamore. It is a herbalist kind of a project. I don't have the name, probably put it on the here. I should have looked it up, I didn't. Anyhow, I chose this both because of the colors, but also because there's a little ferret on her shoulder and my boyfriend is completely crazy about ferrets. There will not come any ferrets in here. That was the project, and again, thank you, Elle, for that gift card. So, let's get into the stitching. This has been a full stitch week, so I've gotten 7 days of stitching. I have stitched 7,134 stitches, plus some more that I haven't tracked. We're gonna get to that in my second project. And I averaged 1,019 stitches. So, the first project, have a little story. I actually started gathering these shards in 2022. Fat Quarter Stitch was announcing that Country Cottage Needleworks were having this 7-part monthly pattern kind of a thing. I think they do that. I think the Country Cottage Needlework do give out these kind of series. They have multiple on their website that you can look at. However, they don't come as PDFs. They only come as paper patterns. And that is what I got. So in 2022 I got 7 of these patterns, but I haven't been stitching them. Both, I was thinking I would stitch them as they come, but then I realized that I didn't know if I wanted to stitch them one by one or all 7 in a row as kind of shown on their website, on Country Cottage Needleworks website. And I ended up actually now choosing to do 7 in a row, but also they are paper patterns. I have a hard time stitching on paper patterns. I more like to stitch on a PDF. Now I've heard, or I watched a video from Stitching Mommy, and she was talking about how she took her old paper patterns and she recharted them in her charting software, and I'm like, that's genius. Why didn't I think about that? I have been scanning my patterns in and kind of trying to work from that, but my iPad software works quite good with the patterns I do in my Max Stitch software. So yeah, I sat down. It took me total about 3.5 hours to do it, so it's not for the faint of heart, but I got them in there, and I got them in a row in the order that Country Cottage Needleworks shows on their website, and I put all 7 of them in there, and now I have one pattern for all 7 of them, which is gonna make everything so much easier. But yes, this is where I am. It is stitched on Lurex. Lurex is a 32 count Evenweave. It is a taupe with glitter. I don't know if you can see that, if it picks it up. I'm hoping. Oh, there you go. Look at that. And I thought it was perfect for a Christmas project, for this little like vintage colors, but still get a little bit more Christmassy. There is a linen that is like with a silver glitter. However, I am an Evenweave girl through and through, so when I found this, I was like, this is what I want to do. I have stitched 3,498 stitches out of 16,910. I had 4 stitch days, and I am using the sharded DMC, or the DMC conversion on the chart. They are actually sharded mostly in classic colorworks, however I prefer DMC, so that is what I do. And I also don't have that many classic colorworks, and I don't want to buy any. I don't have the money for that, so I'm just going to go with the DMC, and this is where I am. So yeah. By the way, this is a Starbucks pin that I just took off the little pin back, like the little stick at the end that you put your pin back on. I just cut it off with some cutters, and then I just glue a magnet on it. So that is how I get my needle minders right now. But yeah, that is the first project, the Big City Christmas. For my second project, I need to reach out over here. It is a teeny tiny chart, and I don't have statistic for this because I haven't put it into any of my softwares, because I only took it with me to have something to do on Saturday when we traveled to my brother to celebrate his bonus daughter's birthday. So I got some stitches on the way out there, and I got some stitches there. So I think in total I stitched somewhere between 2.5 and 3 hours on this. And this is Ugly Sweater. It is by Mill Hill Winter Holiday 2024. I've done one stitch day, as I said. And that it is. It's gonna be a sweater, and then you have the little Rudolph in the middle, and you have a big red bead to have on his nose. So yeah, it is going to be adorable. I don't know how many stitches I did. I just stitched just to have something to do. I had overdid my crocheting the day before. I usually take crocheting or knitting with me when I travel, but I overdid the crocheting and I didn't have a knit project on the go. So that was my other new start. Now we get into the one and only full coverage I worked on, and that is Cauldron of Myrrh. This is how Cauldron of Myrrh is supposed to look in the future. I really like it. Again, this is Ivy Dollimore. It is sharded by Unconventional Cross Stitch. If you want it, you have to run and get it, because Unconventional Cross Stitch is retiring Ivy Dollimore. I was really sad when I heard that, but now I think I have all of the shards that I wanted, which makes me really, really happy. As I said, Cauldron of Myrrh, this is how it looked when I showed you the last time. And since then I have stitched 3,635 stitches. I have in total stitched 29,703 stitches out of 126,897 stitches, and we are at 19%. And there we are. Look, the hat is getting there. I only have 1,500 stitches left for this goal that I self-imposed, and I might get into the hair of the witch, or I might not. We will see, but that is where I am with that. Let me see, I have another one of those pin needle minders up here. I have one more. It was a 3-pack of pins that I got. I am a very big fan of pumpkin spice. I wish pumpkin spice would be all year around. Here in Sweden we get very little pumpkin spice. Not everything is pumpkin spice, and very little of it is the true, very tastefully pumpkin spice that you get in the US. Most is just strange, but I am a Starbucks girl at heart, so during pumpkin spice period I do go and get a Starbucks like once a week. Usually do it during Christmas, but I've been a little bit disappointed with the Christmas offerings this year, so I'm actually not drinking as many Starbucks. It's one of those, it's the only like little thing I can get is like one Starbucks a week. It sits in my budget because I need something to pick me up and make me happy. But right now I haven't been there for like a week. That's good of me. It's good of me. But yeah, that was all on my stitching. By the way, this is stitched on 25 count, easy grade 2/1, full cross stitch, because that's the way I roll. But yeah, we are now done with all of the stitching, so let's jump into plans. Now, My plans are fairly simple to start with. The first one is I am going to stitch one of these each week. They are somewhere around 2,000 stitches. The reason why I've got 3,498 this time is because I did the top border and the bottom border for 2.5 of these extra. I was just kind of stitching the whole way of what I could fit into my frame, and I'm happy I did, because that is the most boring part. Now I can do the fun part. So I'm gonna stitch one of these a week so that I can get them done. I might be stitching like 1 or 2 a week so that I actually can get it done to Christmas, but we'll see. We'll see. The next thing is I still have about 1,500 stitches left on Cauldron of Myrrh, so I am going to put in those 1,500 stitches, and then she is going away for the year. That is going to be the last of them. But that will also mean that I hit 2 big goals of mine. I hit my 30,000 stitch goal for the year. I also hit 30,000 stitches on the project, but I also will hit 20% on the project, which is super nice because I started this in May. Like, I haven't had it in the frame for that long. I've started in May, it's now 20%. If I can get 20% on that every year, it is done in 5 years, you know? We will see. When I have finished those 1,500 stitches, I put away Cauldron and I will pick up Rose Library. I think I have 1,500 stitches for December's WIPGO that is going into her, and I'm at the point where I actually start doing, usually I start doing the monthly WIPGOs the month when the number's drawn. So for November I could start, they draw it in October the 25th, so I usually start in October and I finish my WIPGO goal for the coming month before that month starts. With December being the last month, I know which 3 projects that is for December, so I don't have to wait for the 25th. So I'm just going to add my 1,500 stitches. But Rose Library also have some stitches left to get to those 30,000 stitches. She's the last on my full coverage that needs those stitches, so I most likely would just keep her in the frame and do 3,000 to 4,000 stitches every week until I get to that point and I have finished her, and then I'm gonna replace her with the other WIPGO projects. So that is my kind of plans for cross stitching. I do want to stitch some smaller projects that I here now and there. I might actually be finishing the holiday sweater project this week, but we'll see. However, I have some non-cross stitch projects that needs to get done, and today we're going to talk about them. I usually don't talk a lot about my crocheting and knitting here, but I wanted to talk about them now because they're going to be a part of my plans, and they are going to affect a little bit with my stitching. The project that I have to start with is this hat. This is something I started this in the beginning of this year, I think, and I had the wrong fabric or the wrong yarn to start with. I got about halfway through, I didn't get it to gauge, there were so many wrongs with it, and my ADHD rage quit it for months. And then I realized that I will not finish this if I don't restart it in another yarn. So I got some Red Heart Super Saver, and I don't remember the color, but it is a gorgeous blue color, which is more like, it's not stripy, it's just mottled, and I love it for this hat. It is for a friend of mine. He wanted it blue, and then I'm gonna have like lime green or neon green insides. They are so neon that they don't show up on the camera. They're actually more yellow than they show up on the camera. That's just how cameras work. Sometimes colors just don't show up. I have gotten fairly far on this time around, but I need 2 more of those suckers. This is one of the suckers. and then what you do is you crochet these together, all of them together. So you crochet around here, and then you crochet down and up all of the tentacles. So that is going to be a long job, and finally it's gonna have two big eyes on it, and then it's done. So that is a project I need to get done, preferably before December. So I am going to do 1 to 2 of these tentacles a day. So one day will be the 2 tentacles, and then I will start doing the outline. But I have to limit myself to like 2 hours of crocheting, because I have a rotator cuff injury that does not appreciate me crocheting too much. But with that said, I also have some yarn coming in. It's not me who bought it. The person that wanted these have actually purchased the yarn for me, and I am going to stitch what here in Sweden we would call them faux turtlenecks, but I think they are classified as cawls, C-A-W-L. Is that how you pronounce it? Cawl, shawl, but neck thing, cawl. I don't know. Anyhow, the idea is a turtleneck and then a little bit of a lace detailing around it, and she wants 5 of them. Yeah, she wants one for herself, for her mother, and for the daughters, the 3 daughters. So that yarn is coming in here hopefully this week, but we'll see. And then we'll see how long it's gonna take. But I'm gonna have to portion out the work time. As I said, I have to be careful with my hand. So there will be a lot of cross stitching at the same time. But yeah, so for the first week here, it's gonna be some of the Big City Christmas and some more on Color Number and my crocheting. So yeah, that was all of the kind of crafty things and crafty plans. I do have a little bit of a life update. This week has been fairly slow. There has been 2 things happening. One was I was at my brother for his bonus daughter's birthday. I had made this really cute wrist warmer for her, and I also gave her a package of alcohol markers, or me and Christopher of course gave her a package of alcohol markers because she loves drawing and alcohol markers are cool. We got her like all of the skin colors so that she can make that, because she's gotten a lot of these like smaller packs and they are very much bright colors and very little skin colors. So I thought I gave her a full pack of those, the Ohu markers. They are so much more affordable than Copics that I have. So yeah, she got a package of those and those little things. Yeah, it was a fairly short. It takes about 1.5 hours to get there, so that's 3 hours of traveling, and then we were there for like 2 hours. So if I'm a little bit different in space, that is because I had to switch out my battery. But the rest of my life, I had a doctor's appointment through the phone, which is always an adventure because I have some hearing issues, but it went well. I have a lot of issues. I kind of joke that I kind of got the bad ticket out of the gene lottery. I have a lot of health issues. I have a lot of chronic health issues, but the latest one that we are trying to figure out is that in December my tummy started not behaving like it should. Mostly fat and protein, animal fat and animal proteins kind of just make my tummy not wanting to process the food, which is annoying, really annoying. And I'm allergic to most vegetable proteins, so that's not a route. I can't be vegan or vegetarian. I need to eat meat because I get like breathing issues and itchy neck and stuff like that from most good proteins like beans and soy and all of those things. So yeah, that's super fun. I've been really fighting with food for a long time, but I do have some food I can eat. There is a child porridge. It is by Nestle. I'm not super fun buying things from Nestle, but it is the only one that has amino acids instead of proteins, and also don't neither have gluten nor lactose or milk proteins in it. And it works. I drink 2 cups of that a day, and then I have some pills to break down the protein and the fat, which is works sometimes, works not other times. I had 3 tummy reactions this week, so that is also why I'm a little bit extra tired. I also haven't slept last night. I don't know why. Might have had a slight fever, and that might have been the reason, but it was one of those nights, you know. Anyhow, I've been kind of trying to figure out, it happened in December and we still don't really know why. And I've been going to a gastro specialist since February, and I've been eating these crayons which replaces the enzymes to break down protein and fat since like March or April. And they're fairly functional. Like, most of the time, if I eat small dishes, they work, but not all of the time, and that is what's annoying. It's a little bit like a Russian roulette with my tummy. But I got a new doctor about a month ago. My previous gastro specialist said, hey, I have looked into most things I can look into, and I think you need a place that has better resources. So he moved me to a neurogastro at a research hospital, and it's been working fairly good. I don't click with the doctor, but we'll see. He seems nice enough. But he has taken some tests, some more tests, and we have found out this week that I have too high amount of bile acid in my blood. Now, there can be so many different reasons why you would have a high level of bile acids, but we are going to try some medications to fix the symptoms, and then we're going to figure out why they are there. But in reality, for me, that means that I now have 2 medications because my doctor thinks it's 2 separate issues. He thinks on one hand that I'm having MCAS, which is a mast cell activation syndrome. Basically, the part of your immune system that takes care of allergens or allergies and produces histamine as response kind of gets activated at the wrong time. That is the very, very non-technical, non-doctory explanation. There are probably a lot more that goes into it, but that's kind of it. You produce histamines for like an autoimmune reaction instead of actually a immune action. I don't know. So you get too much histamines, and in my case it seems to be the size of the protein and the fat seems to be the reaction that is causing it, or at least it might be just the proteins. So when I eat my porridge that just is amino acids, which are already broken down proteins, there's not a reaction, but when I eat proteins it is. And then I need the enzymes, extra enzymes, to break them down so that that doesn't happen. But on top of that, I have the other bile acid issues, which we don't really know why yet. We know a lot that it isn't my pancreas, that is looking fine. It isn't my intestines, they are looking fine. Yay, those are looking fine. So we'll see what the results will be, if we will get me into a little bit more energy here. I am very low energy, I have very much headaches, and yeah, hopefully the doctors will figure things out. It will not be before December though, so I will have gone with this for over a year at the end of it. It might be something is a lifelong thing, because if it is mast cell activation syndrome, it's another autoimmune issue that I have collected to my other one. I have lupus before, I also have APS. So yeah, there's starting to get a long list here of things, but that is how life is, and I have to just go with it. I've had a couple months where it's been very, very rough, and I have been a little bit depressed, but I got a little bit back of my oomph here, and I'm even though my energy levels are mostly the same, my happiness levels are much higher, and I think that is what's what most needed. But yeah, that was all for me today. If you actually watch it all the way here, put a Christmas tree for the big Christmas tree or a house as an emoji in the comment section because of the houses. You can also just comment something if you want to. That would be really nice. And if you like this video, please thumbs it up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. It would be really nice if you did. I did hit my 1,000 subscribers. I am now at 1,012, I believe. You know, it goes up and down. That's just the monster of YouTube. But yeah, I got just above 1,000 subscribers. There will be a giveaway coming. I have now checked a little bit more. I will probably not know anything until the 7th of December, because that is when I will get a yay or a nay on my benefits. And yes, that is over a month of processing time, and if I didn't have money put away, that would be very expensive. Well, it is expensive, not like living on savings. And that is also why I can't pick out of the savings to be able to give a giveaway, is because I don't know how long this period is going to be, and I don't know if I'm going to get any benefits throughout it. But we'll see. We'll see. I will be back next Tuesday, because I have been uploading on Tuesdays and it's been working great. So we'll be back on next Tuesdays with some more updates on all of the projects that I've been playing with. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I will see you later, and I hope you have a great week. Bye!